The USC Trojans given up for dead without their head coach, working with an interim and a couple-game losing streak after falling to Washington at home in the Coliseum. Come back with two impressive efforts against Utah and going on the road to defeat Cal. We bring in Nick Dempsey from Conquest Chronicles to help us break it down. Nick, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start with the play of Cody Kessler, who I noticed only threw the ball 22 times, very efficient, 18 completions, didn't throw for a ton of yardage. So was that basically what you saw out of the USC game plan in regards to short passing, not a whole lot of plays downfield?
Yeah, they usually mix in some short passes and depend on yards after catch, and then throw deep down the field. They didn't take too many deep passes this game, which was interesting. I think maybe they respected Cal's secondary a little bit there. But yeah, and they also didn't get a lot on the yards after catch. It was a very interesting day offensively for USC.
Yeah, and if we look at the running game, just watching the games myself, and of course I'm not in the practice field and I didn't recruit these kids. So, of course, on this particular day, Tre Madden got 14 carries, Justin Davis with 15 carries. Ronald Jones, to me, appears to be the guy, the explosive back, the guy that can really chew it up. 11 carries for 80 yards, but they're going with a running back by committee at this point.
Yeah, which I think it's probably a safe bet, especially when that's probably your most reliable aspect of your offense. You don't want to hang everything on the body of a freshman. If he goes down, does he take your offense with you? And as a matter of fact, a lot of USC folks were pretty upset because Ronald Jones wasn't getting the ball late in the game. Clay Helton said in the presser that he had bad knees, and so they didn't go to him. But I think that's exactly why you got to have the running back by committee in this day and age. You can't just have Reggie. But even in the days when they had Reggie Bush, they still had Lendell White. So it's nice when you can have that much talent. It'd be nicer if they ran straight up the middle more instead of trying to stretch it to the outside. But we'll take the win.
Adoree Jackson went with one of the plays of the game, pick six, ball that was underthrown because of the pass rush. So credit the USC pass rush in forcing a bad throw, but he was right there to not only intercept the ball, but do what he does best, and that's make a lot of guys miss on his way to the end zone.
Yeah, that Adoree Jackson pick six was definitely the play of the game. You take that away, and Cal probably wins this game. But Adoree's gotten into some trouble this year because every time he gets near the ball, he tries to go straight for the end zone. Sometimes it costs him, particularly on kick returns. But this time he got it. This time he got the interception and basically turned into a punt returner the second he got it. But that play goes differently, and we could be talking about a Cal victory. So you got to really give it up to Adoree Jackson on that one.
Any other thoughts about the defense? I see that Jared Goff threw two interceptions. We mentioned the one to Adoree Jackson. They seem to have contained him, even though he only threw 8 incompletions, kept him under 300 yards. The running game didn't do a whole lot for Cal. So when you keep the Cal Golden Bears at 21 points, that seems to be a pretty good effort out of the defense.
There seems to be a focus on defense of just keeping everything in front of them. They don't seem to blitz a lot. They don't seem to bring a lot of pressure. But they are very much ball hawks. I believe they have 5 takeaways now in the last 2 games, perhaps more. But they're getting the ball, but they're not pressuring the quarterback, and they're keeping things in front of them, and they're getting the stops when they count. But they could be doing a lot more on defense. The talent they have.
What do you think about the stretch drive for the Trojans? Do you like what you've seen the last 2 weeks? How could you not like what you saw against the Utes, of course, at the Coliseum? But considering this effort as well, it's impressive to me that considering all the turmoil surrounding the program, that they go on the road to Notre Dame, they lose a really tough game, they're still able to bounce back and perform against the number 3 team in the country. And then you might expect a letdown after that effort, but they go on the road and they take their game on the road and win at Cal against a decent team, that maybe they can sustain this and get a little bit of help, and they're still in the Pac-12 South race.
Yeah, which is bizarre. I don't know if I would have said that after the Washington loss. But I think they have a very talented team, and I really think they've all bought in with Clay Helton. even though a lot of folks may not like his play calling, the players have really believe in Clay Helton, and they're showing up to play for him. It definitely looks like. How far they can take this, I don't know. They've got a lot of injuries, and they haven't been the sharpest on play calling. Eventually, you'd think it's got to catch up to them sooner or later, and they're going to need some help with Utah. But they're coming out strong. They're playing hard, and this seems to be their pattern when they have interim head coaches. I don't know, but it seems to be working so far.
All right, so the Trojans hold Cal under 400 yards total offense. They win the turnover battle 3-0, and every coach loves this. In addition to the turnover battle, they chew up the last 4 minutes of game time, run out the clock, don't give the ball back to Goff, and chew up the clock and go into the victory formation. So great stuff from USC. They move on to 5-3. More importantly, stay with 2 losses in the Pac-12 South, so they are still breathing, needing some help from maybe the unlikeliest of sources, probably UCLA against Utah on down the road. So Nick Dempsey joins us from Conquest Chronicles to break down USC and Cal, and appreciate the time, Nick.
Of course, anytime.